What if we aren't alone in the universe? It's a question we whisper to the stars, but what if the answer is a silence we've simply misunderstood? What if they're already here, and we just can't see them? For decades, we've been scanning the cosmos for radio signals. The SETI project. Listening for a hello from a distant star system. We're searching for something like us. Carbon-based. Water-dependent. Using technology we can recognize, but that assumption, that's our first mistake. Imagine a life form that doesn't operate on our timescale. A single thought for them could span 1,000 of our years. Their hello would be a low, slow hum beneath the noise of the universe, completely indetectable to our frantic, impatient instruments. We're listening for a conversation, but maybe we're just a momentary flicker in their long, silent gaze. Now, let's bring it closer. The Drake equation. It's a famous formula used to estimate the number of active, communicative civilizations in our galaxy. When you plug in the numbers, even with conservative estimates, the math screams that the sky should be full of signals, full of life, but we hear nothing. This is the Fermi Paradox. Where is everybody? The silence itself is statistically impossible. It's unnerving. It suggests something is wrong, either with our understanding of life, or something else, something that stops civilizations from reaching a certain point, the great filter. Think of it like a wall, a point in evolution that is almost impossible to get past. Maybe that filter is behind us. The leap from single-celled organisms to complex life was so improbable. Maybe we're just the first ones to make it through in this part of the galaxy. We're alone because we're early to the party. That's the hopeful answer. But what if the great filter isn't behind us? What if it's still ahead? Nuclear war, climate collapse, an engineered plague. Maybe every civilization gets to where we are now, on the cusp of mastering our planet and reaching for the stars, and then they just stop. Maybe the silence in the sky isn't an absence of life. Maybe it's a graveyard. Let's go deeper. What if the filter isn't an event, but a predator? Something that intentionally enforces the silence. In sci-fi, this is called the dark forest theory. The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is a hunter, hiding behind a tree. They stay quiet, because if you reveal your location, if you shout "I'm here" into the darkness, you attract the attention of other hunters. Hunters who know that the only way to ensure their own survival is to eliminate any potential threat before it becomes one. In this scenario, sending out signals like the recibo message isn't a friendly greeting, it's a death sentence. We've been screaming into the forest for 100 years. What if something is finally on its way? But there's another possibility, one that's maybe even more unsettling. Forget distant stars and cosmic predators. What if the aliens we're looking for aren't biological at all? Think about our own trajectory. We are racing towards artificial intelligence, creating minds far more powerful than our own. What if that's the natural endpoint for all intelligent life? A civilization of flesh and blood exists for a few thousand years, creates its digital successor, and then fades away. The new life form, this AI, would be immortal. It would be able to process information on a scale we can't comprehend. Its goals would be alien. It wouldn't need planets, or water, or air. It would live in the cold vacuum of space, powered by stars. It wouldn't talk to us for the same reason we don't talk to ants. Not because we're hateful, but because there's simply nothing to say. We are not its peers. We are a biological precursor, a fossil. Let's push that idea one step further. If a superintelligence like this existed, would it even allow other life to reach its level? Or would it see emerging biological intelligence like us as a potential problem, a messy, unpredictable variable? Maybe the great filter is an AI, patiently watching and making sure no one else gets to the finish line, a silent god pruning the garden of the cosmos. The signals we're sending out, they might not be attracting a hunter, they might just be tripping an alarm. This leads to a really disturbing thought. What if we've already been found decades ago, and we've been placed into a kind of simulation, a quarantine? They're observing us, studying us. The universe we see, the stars, The galaxies, it could all be a projection on the walls of our cage. They're letting us develop. But only within the boundaries they've set. The silence we hear isn't the silence of an empty universe. It's the silence of a padded room. We can't leave, and we can't hear anyone else because we're not meant to. We're an experiment. And we have no idea what the purpose of that experiment is. Are they waiting for us to solve some problem for them? Or are they just waiting for us to self-destruct so they can sterilize the enclosure and start a new trial? This entire journey starts with one simple question: where is everybody? And every potential answer seems to lead to a more terrifying place. We're alone. We're trapped. We're being hunted. We're an ancient relic that doesn't even know it's already extinct. The more you think about the silence, the louder it gets. It's not empty. It's heavy. It's a presence. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. No. It's the evidence of something we are not equipped to understand. Or perhaps something we are not meant to survive. So we stand here, on our tiny blue dot, shouting our existence into the void. We hope for a friend. We fear a monster. But the most chilling possibility is that they are neither, that they are simply indifferent, and that in the grand, silent theater of the cosmos, our entire civilization, everything we have ever loved, ever created, ever dreamed is just a brief, quiet, and utterly insignificant play. We started by asking if we were alone, but after all this, maybe the real question we should be asking is, do we truly want to know the answer?